Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Fee and Yo's Reno Show. So you can see the Caravan behind me. We've got a bit of work to do on it today. We have been laying the floor, but we've encountered not a snag, but just a temporary setback on the floor. I'll explain that in a second. But for today, we're going to start taking the roof off. Yep, that's right. We're going to give it a new roof. Let me show you why. This is the existing roof, and it's covered in hail damage, it leaks, and all of these rafters are kind of just a little bit floppy. It's not very strong anymore. Also, these rafters aren't even connected to the roof, so I reckon we can do a better job with it. Now, the other thing is we've got these great big skylight hatches. We've got birds making a little home in it there. We'll have to relocate them soon. But these hatches are enormous, and they're steel, and they've rusted, and they leak. And so we're going to do away with all of this stuff, put a new roof in, and we're going to put in modern skylight hatches into this Caravan. So that's today's job. We won't get it all done today, but we'll get a start on it. So the floor I was telling you about earlier, we've only got halfway up to the wheel arches here. And the reason being is because I've got this step to put in, and I've realised I need to weld in some steel supports that the stair is going to bolt to here by the doorway. So that's going to go down there, and it's going to need some steel to bolt to. And of course I can't weld that in once the floor's in place. So chicken or the egg situation. We've got to figure out the order we have to do everything in. So anyway, we'll start on the roof and make some headway. This is the corner rail, and this actually is pretty much the only thing holding the roof on. There's no sort of rivets or anything I can see in the roof. Of course, we'll find out when we start trying to peel it off. So what I'm going to do is just go along with the drill and drill out the rivets in this corner rail, start peeling it carefully off without bending it too much. Right, and that's this rail off. Now this rail is not actually the corner rail holding the roof on. This is the rail that holds the awning on. We have to take this off first, and then we can get down to the corner rail.
I get a job. Now I get to try and scrape all the gunk off this strip here, or this bit, and try and get rid of the rivets here. So let's go. So that's the strip all done. Now we might go see what Johan's doing.
There we go. Done. And it's all one piece right round to here. Great, that's one side done. Now for the other side. Well, this is the last piece off the Caravan. So Fee's going to do the difficult job now of cleaning all the gunk out of here. It's linseed oil putty, it's all kind of sticky and gross. What we're going to do next is put some rafters across the Caravan underneath the existing roof, because I actually need to get up on top of that roof to cut the old roof out. We're not removing the entire roof, we're keeping the front roll sections where it rolls around. And so yeah, I'll put the rafters in next. It gives me something to sit on while I'm up there cutting. All right, keep moving. Let's have a closer look at these rafters in here. We have all of these rafters that run down the length of the Caravan. Some of them are just timber, like this one here. It's just timber. This one's an aluminium channel with timber inside, double width. These ones here, quadruple width. It's a pretty weird old setup. The reason they had to double these over is because it's carrying the weight of this skylight, which it runs lengthways, which means it takes a lot of the strength out of the roof. So you've got all these truncated rafters here sitting in that channel, and that load's all got to get spread back to these great big fat, or this group of four here. So what I'm going to try and do is just bash out some of these rafters and see if we can start replacing them and keep the roof on for now. It's amazing how thin walled this aluminium is. There's really nothing to it. I've knocked a few of the rafters out, but I'm going to stop there because as I'm knocking them out, the weight of the roof is actually pulling the walls in. So you can see that, yeah, these hatches are quite heavy, the steel, and it's pulling the roof down, which is pulling the walls in. But I'll leave a few in there just to kind of hold it all together as we go. I'm going to use one of the rafters as a template to cut the new ones. So this is the old rafter here. I've measured it. It's 2341. So I'll cut a few and we'll try and fit them in as we go. So a little trick if you are cutting aluminium. This one was shown to me just recently by Matt, who came out and did the welding. He said when you're cutting aluminium, you want to avoid friction. So you just spray a bit of, this is a silicone spray. You spray a bit on the blade and a bit we're about to cut. And it cuts through like butter. It doesn't grab, which is very dangerous when it grabs. So there's a little tip for you. I thought I'd show you the difference in wall thickness of the aluminium between the old rafter and the new one. So as you can see, the new rafters are going to be a lot stronger. The old one was just, it's almost like paper, not much to it at all. So and you might notice that there's timber obviously on the old one, and that timber is useful to attach your ceiling to because you can't nail into aluminium, well, not easily. So what I'm going to do is once I've put these rafters in, I'm going to screw some timber battens to the side of them, and that will give me something to nail the ceiling into. All right, I'm going to go and fit this one and see if it fits, and I'll cut the rest of them the same length. I can't see, honey. Can you see what that's doing?
Yeah, it's not going in at all.
Does it need to just widen up a bit?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I'm doing with these rafters is they're about the same size as the channel they're going into, so it was a little bit of a too tight of a squeeze to get it in there. So I've cut them 10 mil shorter, and I'm going to use the sanding disc to just take a little bit of the thickness off, not too much, but just so I can slot them in a little bit easier. So I've got one rafter in. This is going to be the first one, and we're going to go back from here at 400 centres. And I'm going 400 because our hatch is 400 and these are 400 hole. And the closer you are together, of course, the more support we're going to have for this floppy ceiling. Now, unfortunately, we've got these bolts here. These bolts are actually holding the roof to the wall. And you can see I want to put a rafter right where that bolt is. So we might have to take a few of these bolts out as we go and maybe move them over, put them in, and maybe I'll buy some new ones that aren't rusty as well.
Rusted in.
Snapped it. Oh well, I lost itself.
Good job. You're so strong.
Yeah, well.
My hero.
Well, the metal's so weak for it. So yeah, I'll get a few stainless nuts with nylocks, and we'll redo them, I think, as we go.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is you're driving down the road and the roof peels off. Alright, done. Only another heaps to go.
Yep. So I'm measuring up the windows so we can replace the rubber, but I need to know how much to get and what size thickness. So, yep, got to measure them all up and Google it when I get home.
So it's looking good. We've got these rafters put in. We're about halfway along the Caravan, and everything's sort of working okay. Once I shorten those rafters slightly just to be able to get them in, they're going in a lot easier, and we're kind of holding the Caravan together as we go, so it doesn't sort of fall apart and get all floppy, which they can do. So yeah, that's good. I'm really happy with that. I've made them just wide enough to fit our hatch in, and yeah. All that's left to do is the rest of the ceiling. We're starting to run out of daylight, so I'm going to stop it for today, and we'll carry on next time, finishing off the roof and hopefully reskinning it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye. What a great day. Johan's tidied up the yard. Looks so much better. Well done, hun. Ooh.
I'll just get some B-roll inside of the finished rafters.
Sure. Come on down.